Hey y'all, welcome to the Second of Strength podcast. My name is Tanner Clark. I went from sitting at a desk to speaking on stage internationally to inspire teenagers and people like you. My goal is simple: help you find your 1 second of strength to walk away from the things that are holding you back, to step into your potential, and ultimately find happiness. Thank you for spending your valuable seconds with me today. Let's go. What is going on? Welcome to the Second of Strength podcast. I am glad you're here today. You're spending your valuable seconds with me today. Look, wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day. I hope that this podcast episode helps you have a better day. And look, I know that there's a lot of things going on today that are challenging people, right? We live in a daily grind that can wear people down. And so wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. I think about you. I think about how I can help you, how I can do better for you. Feel free to always send me a message. Send me a message on Instagram at @RealTannerClark. Let me know how I can help you better. If there's certain topics, certain things you want me to cover and go over, I'm more than willing to try and accommodate because I want to help you. You know, I one time I was going to speak I was speaking in a church. So if you don't follow me on Instagram or don't know much about me, or I don't know how you found me, but I speak in schools, I speak to teenagers, I speak in churches, helping teenagers live their best life, you know, reach their potential, find their 1 second of strength to walk away from the things that are hurting their heart. And so one day I was speaking at a church, and the bishop of the church wanted to wait to start because as we got going, it wasn't full, right? There wasn't as many people as he thought was going to be there right at the start of this thing. And I said, look, let's start because I'm here for one person, and that person's already here in the room. So I think about you. You're the one person I'm trying to reach. And if there's something specific that I can do better to serve you, to help you, then please let me know, and I will work to do that. But today, I think this episode might be for me more than it might be for you, but I think it'll help you, and it's really comes down to balance. You know, I had a conversation this week. I had actually a couple conversations this week about balance, right? Where there's so many things going on in life that it's hard to balance. And I said to this one friend, I said, yeah, just trying to keep all the balls in the air, and you know, I can't do it all. There's some of the balls are going to fall, but I just hope that they're bouncy balls and they're not fragile. They're not made of glass, and then we'll make it through. And my friend said, you know, I'm convinced that balance isn't a real thing, that you can't truly balance it all. You just have to pick and choose what's most important to balance. And I think she was exactly right, because we do have a lot of things going on in our lives. It's about picking and choosing and placing our priorities and our focus in the places that are most important, being present in the moments and in the things that require our presence. And so today I want to talk about fixing our focus and give you a specific tool that I use to help compartmentalize and fix my focus. And because I think there's really 4 areas that we need to create focus and structure in our lives. And that is our faith, our family, our fitness, and our finances. And those 4 things create this ecosystem in our life to where we need to focus, and we need to create the right structure and focus on the right things. And what I found is that, and I think what many people are struggling with, is that life gets out of whack, right? I always say, and I always tell teenagers, and I tell you and everyone else, like you're in control. You are in control of your life. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. You can control how you move forward. And so you're in control. You're in control of your attitudes. You're in control of your reactions. And the challenge is that life gets out of whack, right? We've got so many things coming our way all of the time that we can't focus. And so these 4 areas, it's about, again, it's faith, family, fitness, and your finances. It's about creating structure and focusing on the right things within those areas, so that you can create balance in your life. Because what I've found is that when I feel out of control, it's because one of those buckets or multiple of those buckets has spun out of control and I'm not focusing on the right things. When we shift away from focusing on the right things, life gets messy. Life gets out of control. We feel like we lose control, and we feel like the world and the weight of the world is coming down on us. So we have to flip that script a little bit. But I thought it was interesting. I read recently. There was a new study that came out, and it was published in like the Frontiers of Psychology, and they were trying to make sure I get this right. They were trying to find the degree to which somebody has a consistent yet flexible outlook as it comes to balance. And so here's what they said. The researchers found that people who expressed a high degree of psychological balance were those who possessed a core set of values that defined who they were, but who were also able to tailor the priorities of their value system to fit the needs of different situations. And I'm not going to read that again. You can go back 10, 15 seconds, listen to that again. But I thought it was so interesting that it starts with this core set of values. It starts with these core set of beliefs that you have to be really strong and really firm on, and then being able to be flexible and sway to fit the situation and fit the needs. And I think as you think about the 4 value areas, or the four places that we need to focus on, from family to fitness to faith to finances, it really comes down to establishing the core of who you are first, and then secondarily being able to pivot as you need to. Which ball needs to be in the air right now? Which ball are you catching? Which are you spinning? Which are you throwing? Which are you getting, moving forward and adjusting? And so in the Frontiers of Psychology, they talked about 10 different values, and I'll read them really quick. I'm not going to dwell on these today, and you can Google this, or I'll put a link to what I'm talking about in the show notes. But the 10 areas that they talked about, these are the values that they talked about. Self-direction, that's like I decide about which way my life goes. Stimulation, I'm opening, discovering new things. Hedonism, I can enjoy life to the fullest. Achievement, I strive to do my best and succeed in whatever I do. Power, I strive to gain resources and influence over others. Security, I want to be safe wherever I am. Conformity, I follow social rules out of respect to others. I think that's really interesting, right? Conformity is following rules out of respect to others. There's an empathy value there. But tradition, I follow ideas of culture or religion. Benevolence, I care about my family, friends, and other people. And then universalism, I care about all things on the planet. And so those are certain values, and what they're saying is these are the values, and you set your core value in who you are, and you define who you are, but then you're able to pivot to tailor the needs to each situation. So I touched on empathy for a second. There may be a situation where you need to be more empathetic to somebody in their needs. There may be a situation where I thought power was an interesting value that they were talking about here. I strive to gain resources and influence other people. Well, if you always do that, then you're a narcissist and not a good person. But if you do that in certain situations where you need to add value and be that person, then it makes total sense, right? And so these are the 10 things they want you to, or they talk about creating these values, self-direction. I decide about which way my life goes. I get to decide that. And when you root that core in who you are, and then project that out, that's where you start to gain balance and control of your life. You are in control of these situations because you have an internal belief that you get to decide which way your life goes, because you have an internal belief that you can enjoy life to the fullest. That is why this study is so powerful, is because it is what's going to help ground you in those things. So take that, compartmentalize it, think about it. But when it comes to fixing your focus, very specifically, here's what I've done in my life, and I would challenge you, if you're driving, don't do this right now, but come back, listen to this later. But get a piece of paper, a white piece of paper from your printer, and make a grid, 4 quadrants, right? And in the top of each quadrant, write one of those 4 areas that we need to be focused on: faith, family, fitness, and finances. And then below that, in each one of these quadrants, take a moment and write the things that are important, right? Right? What are the things that you're balancing or that are important, right? So for fitness, it may be, the habit that you want to exercise every day. For fitness, it may be that you want to get more, you want to sleep, you want to eat right, you want to do these things. For family, it might be that you want to spend, I always talk about individual intentional time. I believe that your kids need individual intentional time every single day. So write that down on that list. Write down these bucketed items within each section that you're going to that you need to do, that you need to focus on. So for finances, it might mean that you're not going to spend frivolously, or that you're always buying every time you go to the store you buy gum or candy. Well, do you need gum or candy? Could you save that money if you were to do that? So save that there. And then faith. Are you doing the things that you need to be doing to remain in your core values of faith, to have that established? And what happens is, when you fill out these 4 quadrants, really quickly you start to see areas where you are off balance. Your axis is a little bit off and you're spinning a lot out of control. And when you write it down and you have it on a piece of paper, you can then begin to fix your focus in the areas that matter most. And what that might mean is that there's other areas that you need to tweak or adjust, or that you need to spend less time on, right? But these are the core areas. And so as I think in my life, and I think of, pursuing passions and helping people and speaking in schools and running a podcast and work life and family life and all of these aspects, there is a place for all of them, but there's a time and a place for all of them. And and it doesn't mean that one is more important than the other, but it does mean that you have to compartmentalize, and that you have to continue to go back to your paper, go back to the things that are important, and continually tweak those little things so that my dog's right here. I put her. Tweak those little things so that you're always adjusting and fixing your focus. Because what I don't want you to have happen is I don't want you to feel out of balance, out of control, because there's nothing more frustrating and there's nothing more disheartening than feeling that way. But it really comes down to being intentional about the things that you want to focus on, and then putting that plan into action. Because any dream, any vision, anything you want without action is just a dream. And we're not here for dreams, right? We're here for actions. We're here for fulfilling those needs, fulfilling those things in our heart. So take a moment today, write down that quadrant, write down what's most important, and the things that you want to focus on. And what happens is, as you begin to do this, and you think back to the study that I talked about a few minutes ago, the Frontiers of Psychology, when you do that, what you are doing is you're defining who you are in terms of what is going to be acceptable in your life and what is not going to be acceptable in your life. So if you're a person that says self-direction is important, and as it comes into faith and family, fitness, and finances, and you say, I decide which way my life goes, and then all of a sudden you're not deciding which way your life goes because life is out of balance, well, then you are missing on a core value that you have decided you want to be. And we can't cheat on ourselves. We can't do, well, I don't know why this came to mind, but we can't do ourselves dirty like that. You can't do that. You have to stay true to who you are and true to your values. And if something or someone is pulling you away from those things, then that person or that thing is probably not servicing you, or probably not right in your life. And so don't compromise who you are. Don't compromise your values, but stay true to them, and make sure that as you're doing it, you're then going back to your list of your 4 quadrants: faith, finance, fitness, and family, and putting those things back in check, back in balance. And as you do that, what you'll find is that all of the things that are creating misalignment and chaos in your life will start to fall off, because you are reprioritizing what is critically important to who you are and what you want to become, and everything else will fall off. I've talked before about a to-do list and a to-don't list, right? There's a lot of things that are going to come out of this that are like, oh, I got to stop doing that. That is not servicing my family. That is not helping me be a better brother, sister, parent, in that way. Oh, I got to stop doing that. That is not helping with my finances, or I'm spending money in places that I don't need spending money. Or, man, I got to stop doing that because I'm self-sabotaging. Every time I go to the gym and I work out and do something hard, but then I come home and I drink 3 sodas and a bunch of candy bars, I'm not serving who I have chosen that I want to be. And when we start feeling bad about ourselves and out of balance in a certain area, we start getting out of balance in every area. It's almost like if you've ever done pottery on a potter's wheel, or you've seen the movie Ghost or whatever, but if you put that clay right in the middle and you build this beautiful like clay pot or vase or vase or whatever you call it, if you've done that, and then all of a sudden one little adjustment gets out of whack, and then the whole thing starts running skewampously and then breaks, right? That's what happens when we take our focus off of the things we need to be focusing on. So it's critically important for your balance, for your mental health, for your mental well-being, and for the people around you, that we go back, we fix our focus, and we get back in balance of the things that are most important, so that we can achieve and reach the heights that we want to reach. So take a minute and do that today. I hope this episode helps you. I think sometimes these are for me just as much, where I need to reframe and reset things in my life, as there's a lot going on in my life and everyone else's. So I hope this helps you. And if you haven't done so already, would love for you to just go leave a review for the show. It helps get this message out to more people so we can help more people. As always, go find your 1 second of strength and be happy. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope it helped you. If you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss another episode, and leave a review for the show. And as always, go find your 1 second of strength and be happy.